Hey guys, it's absolutely gorgeous out here. I just wanted to hop on and show you guys a couple cool things today. Firstly, I want to finish my little garden tour. Had a couple things that I wanted to show you in the very first garden tour video that I didn't get to because it was getting too long. Just was feeling a little long-winded that day, so we'll finish that up. Just a few more things, but I want to make sure to show at this point in the season so that we can take a look later in the season and throughout to see how things are going. But the thing I'm the most excited about is I was reminded this morning why I fell in love with gardening. It was just a moment. There was a moment that defined why I love to garden, and I wanna show you. So hang tight. I'll be right back. Hey guys, I'm back, and I am right here in front of my cucumber plants. I believe there are 3 of them here, maybe even more than that, because like I've said before, I cram as much as I can in to my small space. But I don't know if you've ever grown cucumbers. If you're beginners, probably not, but this is why I fell in love with gardening. One of my very first vegetables, some say it's a fruit, growing was cucumbers. And what you'll see on cucumbers is they have what you call tendrils. I don't know if you can see that. I want to make sure I get it. And they want to climb, which is why I always have a trellis of some sort. And there are so many trellis ideas out there, but they love to climb. And if you take a look closely, they will wrap their little tendrils around anything and everything that they can so that they can continue going up. These are the most fun things to grow, in my opinion. And they are the reason why I fell in love. My very first year gardening, I don't know, maybe 3 years ago, I actually named my cucumber plant. It was Cletus, and you can rest assured that it was very well loved and taken care of, but I grew it in a tiny pot and still got got fruit from it, veggie fruit, got cucumbers. But I saw those tendrils one day, and it was like you come out in the morning and the sun is shining and they are literally reaching for the sun, and you can physically see them moving. I was so blown away. I was sold. It's like, I'm going to figure this out. We're going to do more gardening. So the following year and every year since then, I've learned more and I've tried more varieties of things. I've tried the small space cucumber varieties that are designed to produce well in pots and in small spaces. So yeah, no turning back. Once you start seeing the life form before your eyes that you single-handedly had started, it's the best thing ever. So let me show you guys a couple more things before I hop off with what I have in the ground. I showed already what I have in pots, but I want to show you guys what I have in the ground. Okay, be right back. Okay guys, I'm back. Here is my very, very small garden bed that's actually in ground. For the most part, it's I don't know, maybe about 10 by 6. I can probably grow in maybe from this shrub here back and across there, that's about 6 feet. I would say that's maybe 8. This center area is really not growable space for me. There was a tree removed here, so I just keep a pot there, and it's a huge trunk there. So I just really have to make the best of the space I have. In this space, I've put in cucumbers. My favorite thing, I think, to grow, maybe, I don't know. I love growing cucumbers. Like I said, they're the reason I love to garden. Here I have a tomato another tomato. Looks like a few tomato plants back here and a couple right here. That is basil, sweet basil. Tomatoes do so well with basil growing nearby. So I always try to have some basil in the mix somewhere. I'm not really sure why they love to be in the soil next to one another. What's kind of cool is that the only things that I have actually put out here this year were the cucumbers. These tomatoes actually were sprouting by the time I came out to put in what I have been growing indoors, because I start seeds inside to get a head start on the growing season. They had already been growing, and I decided to leave them where they are just to see how they do. Pretty sure these are the yellow pear tomatoes, the grape tomatoes that I had a whole lot of them here last year. So obviously seeds fell. These tomatoes back here I did put in, and I kept them separate. Like, these are the ones that are back here, so I can remember the ones that I actually did put in. That little guy back there grew in on his own from last year. That basil actually did grow in on its own from last year, so I didn't have to put basil in this year. These are 2 dwarf cherry bushes I picked up this year from one of the big box stores. They had a sale. You need to have 2 cherry varieties so that they can cross-pollinate. I put them in pots. I do plan to move soon, and I didn't want to have to worry about leaving the cherry trees behind. So we'll see how that goes. They're doing well so far. I have them mulched with the wood chips or I don't know, shredded wood that they came in. Some weeds. I'm gonna pull that out of there. They're doing so far so good. I'm gonna have to get some weeds out. I think the compost that I'm feeding have some weeds, I guess. I don't know. So check that out. Here is another one of my purple magic beans. Looks like I have some flowers coming there. So that'll be a whole lot of fun to see how many purple beans I get here. This is a tomato plant that I picked up at a store. I didn't start this one from seed, but it's doing so well. As you can see, there are already tomatoes. I saw flowers last week and got so excited. So when you have tomatoes and they have these little yellow flowers to let you know they want to start fruiting, just tap, because they can self-pollinate. You can just, give a tap. Of course, bees and other pollinators. I have wasps that love my patio, but that's another way to help it, to make sure that the flowers come. When they come, they need to pollinate in order to become fruit. Otherwise, they will just shrivel. There's some more tomatoes. I'm so excited about this. This is a variety that I hear a lot about. I've never grown, and it's like Patio 100 or something like that. And I've just heard that they're super, super productive. So I'm excited about that. We eat a lot of tomatoes, and I am definitely seeing, just out of the blue, gobs and gobs of flowers. It's so exciting. This is a mint that's in a pot. It's a Hillary mint. It's really, really sweet smelling. I just love the smell of mint. You always want to have mint in a pot. Otherwise, it'll take over whatever bed. This has literally come back for the last couple years on its own. And this is like, it's literally in a pot, inside of a pot. And the roots, I believe, have gone deep enough into the ground from the holes in the bottom of the pot that it's gorgeous, and it gets huge. I also wanted to show you guys, I do have some dill. I really, really would like to pickle and jar. I bought mason jars last year, and I grow dill every year, but I never seem to get enough cucumbers. We eat them too fast, so that's why I'm growing extra plants this year. Hopefully I'll get to learn how to preserve them by pickling and jarring them. If you have any tips about that, I'd love to know. Okay, so on the other side of that shrub where we just were, you can see my cherry plants, cherry trees or shrubs or whatever they're going to be back there. This is also something that I'm trying this year in the ground. I've not grown corn before, but I have dwarf variety corn growing. We'll see how that goes. This is Indiana, so you know, I would imagine it would do pretty well, so I'll be excited to see how that goes. And those are some, I don't know what we're going to do with those cucumber seedlings. I've started those for a friend. Hopefully we'll get them planted, and I'll be able to record while I help her get those started in her yard. Update on my yellow crookneck squash. It's doing great. There's so many flowers. I haven't seen any squash yet, but it's doing very well. It's just gorgeous, beautiful. Another cucumber plant because I can't get enough of them. Then real quickly, guys, I wanted to give an update on the blueberry bush. If you remember, it was suffering from chlorosis, an iron deficiency. I did add some acidifier to the oil since I learned that it was a pH problem with the soil. I don't see any more leaves yellowing. It's hanging on, still looking pretty strong. Since then, it has started, you start to see blueberries forming and ripening. I ate one. It was kind of tart, but looks like something is bitten into that one. They're eating my fruit. But just an update. It's doing okay. So far, so good. Hasn't been very long. And the pH of the soil is not reading much lower. So I'm still waiting for the effects of the soil acidifier that we added. So guys, I just wanted to hop on. Thank you for watching. I just wanted to give you a couple updates and let you see how some things are going and how exciting it was for me to see. Just a nice little reminder of when I fell in love with gardening. So if you have anything you want me to cover, anything you want me to talk about, any questions or anything you'd like to share, I do monitor the comments and I'd be happy to chat with you. So until next time, bye.